Hi everyone, welcome to the channel. So here in this video lecture, we are going to discuss the major difference between HTML and CSS. So in cascading style sheets, this is our lecture number 5, and students, if you forgot to watch the previous lectures, you can check the description box. I have already added the link there. So first of all, you always know what is the meaning of HTML. HTML stands for Hypertext Markup Language. And here CSS stands for what? It stands for Cascading Style Sheets. Okay. So HTML is generally a standard markup language that is used to describe the structure of web page. In simple language, we can say that HTML used to design the structure of any web page or in any website. And in case of CSS, we can say that it is a style sheet language. It is what? It is a style sheet language for describing the presentation and design of this particular HTML structure. So this is how we can say that HTML and CSS are internally related to each other, right? Next important point you should know is HTML is simple to understand and it always have clear idea, clear syntax. But in case of CSS can be complicated at some times and because of its coding difficulties. As we have discussed in previous lectures that CSS, we have different types of CSS like inline, internal, and external CSS. We have already discussed in previous lectures. Okay, so because we have different types of cascading style sheets, so it may cause some complications. Next important point is HTML cannot be used with any XML, that is XML based markup language, right? We cannot use HTML with XML languages, but CSS is not dependent on HTML and may be used with any XML based markup languages. So all these are minor differences between HTML and CSS. Now we will be discussing about, on the basis of some key factors, the difference between HTML and CSS. So first difference is on the basis of their dependencies. As I have told you earlier that since HTML is a markup language and to define the web page structure or organization, the same format and syntax cannot be used in CSS sheets. And on the other hand, when we talk about cascading style sheet, it is independent of HTML. That means what? We can use CSS along with any XML based programming language, or we can use it with XML based markup languages. So this is called as dependency. In short, we can also say it as HTML is not dependent. Sorry, HTML is dependent. Okay, but CSS is not dependent to any language, or we can say CSS is not dependent to the HTML code only, right? Next key factor we have is implementation. So HTML is implemented to define the web page structure as well as structure. As I have told you, with the help of HTML, we can describe structure of the web page or structure of the website. However, when we talk about cascading style sheets and for the purpose of implementation, that it is specific to design and presentation only. So this particular statement is very important for your examination point. Okay, so CSS main purpose is to specify design and presentation of that particular web page that we have structured by using HTML or by using any other XML based markup language. Before moving to the next key factor, you should know that HTML does not have any issue like it is not surrounded by different elements, different tags. But in case of CSS, there are so many different tags, there are so many different implementations of same code, right? Next important statement, very important statement is this: HTML is a markup language that is used to create static web page. With the help of HTML, we can create static web page. Static here means what? Not changeable. Static web page. And when we talk about CSS is what? It is a style sheet language that is responsible for the document presentation also. Okay, so CSS is also used for document presentation. Next point we have is HTML is used to structure the content of the web page, and CSS is used to make it more interactive. With the help of CSS, we can make our web page more interactive or more attractive, right? So moving to the next key factor, that is its architecture. So HTML relies on tags for structuring content and other elements for the web page. We have already discussed this, that whenever we want to use HTML, we always start with we always start with this and we always end up like this. So all these are called the tags. Like we have HTML tag, we have head tag, we have title tag, then we have body tag in case of HTML. And when we talk about CSS, it uses only selectors to declare block statement syntax. So remember this point, in case of CSS, we always use selectors. We have discussed this in previous lecture, and in next lecture, that is lecture number 6, we will discuss everything practically. Okay, next lecture I will tell you that how you can use HTML, how you can use CSS code along with your HTML code. Next key factor is its approach. So HTML is primarily used to put the core content or basic content to display on a web page, and by defining the color, font size, background color, etc. Right? But if you want to make your web page more attractive, if you want to change different background colors, if you want to add more background images to your web page, you can always go to cascading style sheets. It provides us more styling format, it provides us more other interactive features. Next key factor here is their support. So the core strength of HTML's growth and becoming the default standard in web development has been the large community of the supporters who focus on developing different web pages, structure and revised approaches. Undoubtedly, CSS does have a strong community to support as well as backup to ensure improvements in the web page designing on an ongoing process. Okay, that means uh, suppose I am creating a web page called ABCD, right? Now I'm writing its basic code, like let's say this. Okay, so here I have told you कि CSS does have a strong community and it support a greater backup to ensure improvement in the web page designing on an ongoing process. So here in this example, this is an ongoing process. So whenever we are using cascading style sheets, we can change the designing so many times. We can change the color, we can change the font size, etc. on any ongoing process also, right? So all these are some important differences between HTML and CSS. For your examination, all these points are very, very important. So I hope you like this video. So thanks for watching.